right, here we go. All right, we are on lesson 10, or not lesson 10, I'm sorry. Lesson 45, step 10, 48. Lesson 48, step 10. Manage your respect to authority. And this is of the 14 steps. Manage your respect to authority. And since there's 14 steps, after this one we got 4 more, and then I'm done, I guess. All right? No more me? No? You guys awake? Hello? No, we start all over. We're back to lesson 1. All right, we're going to be on page 3 today. Page 3. I'm going to read a couple Bible verses, and then we'll talk about how to show respect to employers, government, parents, pastors, and teachers. All that I just named there are the people that have authority. And authority in our lives. The first verse I want to read to you is 1 Peter 2:13. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake. Peter teaches that it is God's will for us to respectfully obey every authority. Obey every authority. That sticks in some of our craw, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially me.
Yeah.
One of the most difficult, we may get to the lesson, we may not. Here we go. One of the most difficult things for me to do is 2 things. 1, obey someone I think is dumber than me.
Wow.
If I think they're dumber than me, or they don't know the job as well as I do, I have a difficult time obeying that. That's something I have to work on in my own personal life. And then obeying someone younger than me. I have a problem with that. And it's something I have to work on. Because I automatically assume you don't know as much as me. They're kind of tied together. And so, but the Bible says we're to obey every authority. You know, you get a young cop come up to you. He's 22, 23 years old. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am. But if he tells me I did something wrong and I don't think I did, I'm more apt not to be very respectful. That's just my natural tendency. I assume there's a lot more people out there like that than just me. The Bible says we're to respectfully obey every authority. Romans 13:1 says, let every soul be subject. That means submit to. Submit unto the higher powers, plural. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be ordained of God. So the highest power is God. And we always obey Him. And we obey Him above any power. But God, the higher power, tells me to obey what? The higher powers. And so I'm supposed to be submissive to and obey the higher powers. Now that will be your employer. That will be the government.
Oh, wow.
That will be your parents. Well, some of you, you're past that part. But it will be your parents. Be your pastor. And it will be teachers. Now, a pastor doesn't have ultimate authority over you, but he has a certain amount of authority. Especially during church and at church. Okay? He has a certain amount of authority. So do your teachers. Hello?
Yes.
And so let's go over how we can show respect. Now, God has told us that we're supposed to. So, if you're like me, you have to work on that. Some of us, when we go to employers, some of us in this room are great at getting jobs. Now, keeping them, that's a whole different story. There might be a reason.
Yeah.
I have a friend constantly losing jobs. Losing jobs. The first couple times I thought, boy, she really runs into some dumb luck. I mean, really bad luck. I mean, the last two bosses were really mean. By the time she lost her third job, I'm like, now wait a minute. Here's 3 jobs you've lost, 3 different bosses, and all 3 of them treated you terribly. I don't think so. There's one person that's in common in all of these. That's you. And now after 15, 16 jobs, same thing. Bosses are mean, people are talking about me. They tell me to do this, and that's not how you do it. No respect for the employer. So how do we show respect to our employers? How do we show respect to our government? How do we show respect to our parents? How do we respect our pastors? And how do we show respect to our teachers? Now, always remember, there's a higher power than all of them. I had an employer tell me to lie one time on a government form. It would go to the state. It would help us out if I lied. I said no. My higher power comes first. It's above my higher powers. Now I knew I got fired. I even went home. I didn't go home. I went to my office and called my wife and said, well, it looks like I'm looking for a new job. She didn't fire me, and actually we ended up becoming closer, but she just found somebody else to do it. Somebody else lied, but I didn't do it. There is a higher power, and that's God. But we do respect our employers, our government, our parents, our pastors, and our teachers. First one, you want to respect people of authority? Be on time. Nothing shows disrespect more than not being on time. You don't respect me. You don't respect what I need to do. You don't respect the job if you show up late all the time. It shows a lack of respect. You respect others first by respecting their time. Respect people's time. Don't waste it. Be on time. Now I have a rule. I like to be 15 to 10 minutes early. I'm telling you, being on time is not clocking in at 10 o'clock if you're supposed to be there at 10 o'clock. Because if you clock in at 10 o'clock, you get in there, you rush, oh, I made it on time. And then you go to your locker and you take off your coat and you put up your purse and you change your shoes and you put on your apron. You just wasted 10 minutes of my time. I used to tell people, you just stole from me. Because I paid you for 10 minutes of time that you weren't doing anything for me. Respect people's time. Be on time. You respect their time, you respect them. Follow their instructions. Even Jesus said that you show your love to Him by obeying His commandments. He says, how do you show God's love, that you love God? He says, if you love me, obey my commandments. Well, it's the same for those in authority of us. Say, I love my parents. You know how you prove that? By obeying them. Disobeying, disrespecting, talking back is not showing love to your parents. Oh, I love them, but you disobey them. I love my wife, but you disobey her. That doesn't show any love. I love my husband, but you disobey her. That doesn't show love. Oh, you guys are looking at me weird. Did you not know that your spouse will make rules for you?
No.
They're allowed to. As soon as you said I do, they're allowed to make some rules. They make some rules. If they say nobody comes into our house with shoes on, don't disobey her. Don't disobey her. You love her. Obey her. It's my house, I'll wear shoes wherever I want. That doesn't show love. We show love of God by obeying Him. We show our love to authority, our respect to authority by obeying it. By obeying it. Doesn't mean they're always right. They can be totally wrong. I've learned in my life, if I get stopped by a cop, I obey him. There's a thing called a court system. If he's wrong, I'll have his butt in court. But I obey him. If the judge tells me I have to pay a fine, I pay it. I don't always like it, and sometimes they're wrong. By the way, I used to work with a lawyer. A lot of times, they're wrong. If you go to court expecting the truth, I don't know what court you're going to. Be careful about that, okay? Oh, I got truth on my side. Well, you better have a good lawyer too. Okay? Because truth doesn't always reside there. Follow their instructions. Your employer tells you you're supposed to wear a paper hat. We'll go there again. When I got my first job at Burger Chef, I got my uniform. I would wear my uniform, but I hated the paper hat. Now, those of you the children of the 70s, you know what I'm talking about. That ugly paper hat you'd have to wear. I hated that thing. I refused to wear it until one day my manager came to me and said, Mike, if you don't wear the paper hat, you don't have a job. All of a sudden, I liked getting paid more than I did not wearing the paper hat.
Right.
But it was disrespectful for a while for me not to wear the paper hat because that was his instructions. Number 3, how to show respect to authority. Promote unity. Promote unity. Encourage others to follow the instructions. This is huge in a church. You have a pastor, he wants to do something, or we have a principal of the school, and he makes a law or a rule or whatever. Staff needs to encourage unity. The members of the church should encourage unity. If you're at work and your boss makes a rule, you want to respect him, you want to show respect for him, encourage others to keep the rule. No matter how lame or dumb it is. And sometimes they can be pretty lame or dumb. They can be. I've had this in the factory. They made some dumb rules. People come to me, what are we going to do? I say, we're going to do it, and then in 3 days, they're going to realize that it was stupid. They're going to come back, never admit that they made a dumb rule, and change it somehow. But they'll only change it if we obey it. If we fight them over it, guess what they'll do? They'll dig in deep. You will do this. This will be done. So we obeyed it. It only took 2 days. And they came back and they came up with a different rule because that wasn't working. Promote unity. Promote unity. Number 4, volunteer. Display how much you care by participating in renewed or new concepts. Volunteer. It's right there in your notes.
No, you said after that.
It's in your notes too, on page 3. Volunteer to do whatever it is that they're asking to do. Say, we're going to paint walls Saturday. I volunteer. Or we're going to try something new, and this is what I want to do. I volunteer. I volunteer. That'll show respect to your authority. Volunteer. Number 5, Dress properly. Dress properly. You follow whatever they suggest as a dress code. Everybody hearing this? Dress properly. Whatever they suggest the dress code is, follow it. There is no bigger disrespect to authority when they ask you to dress a certain way and you do not. We can go back to the paper hat. Or you could go back to church. Or you could go back to a school. Or you could go back to work. You know what? We don't have Casual Friday on Wednesdays. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Tuesday. You know, we don't have Casual Friday on Tuesdays. Whoa, to make some kind of joke. It does not show any respect. If they say, we wear our uniform here, and you have to wear your pins and your buttons, wear your uniform and your pins and buttons. I got in trouble before because I hated my name tag. I'm just not a very good person, I guess. I just wouldn't wear my name tag. I don't know why. I have a problem with authority, okay? And I got in trouble for not wearing my name tag. I had to wear that sucker. It just weighed too much. It was right there and it would weigh it down like this.
One piece of flair.
One flare. And so I had to start wearing my name tag, okay? Dress how they tell you to dress. All right? Wherever you go, wherever you are, your boss, your parent, your teacher, whatever they tell you, however they tell you to dress, dress that way. It shows respect. Number 6, communicate your concerns to who? To them. This is a huge one. Communicate your concerns to them. Nothing shows disrespect more than talking about them behind their backs. Question them to their face or not at all. Question them to their face or not at all. I respect you when you question whatever I said or whatever I want done to me. I can respect that. Eventually, I want you to do what I want you to do, or maybe I'll change my mind. But I'll never change my mind if I'm hearing you going around behind my back. And that's speaking from somebody who's been in management position and a boss for a long time. You don't like a policy I have, and you're talking bad about me behind my back, that policy will take years to leave. Because I have to do it that way. I can't let you win. But if you come talk to me face to face, man to man, or woman to man, or whatever, and you tell me right up front why you don't like this or how it can be done better, it can be more reasonable. I can respect that. You want respect? Show respect. Communicate your concerns to them. Number 7, listen. Don't assume you hear what you think they're saying. Actually listen. Teachers would love that. Right, Jimmy? If you just listen. They love to be understood. Every authority loves it when you understand them. So listen. You know how I know you're listening? You ask the appropriate questions. You ask the appropriate questions. Listen to them. They want to be understood. Teachers, that's why they're here, so you can learn. Parents, that's why they have you, so they can raise you and make good humans out of you. So they want you to listen to them and be understood. The government, I don't think they want to be understood. That's the only one. I think they like having everything all messed up. But Employers do. They want to be understood because they want the customer served right or the product made properly. So listen to them. Number 8, be considerate. Remember, they have feelings also. I don't know if we get this some kind of picture that there's made out of stone or rock, and maybe they present themselves that way, you know. So that's how you think of them, this mountain thing. Your boss, your teacher, your parents. Oh my goodness, if children would treat their friends like they treat their parents, they'd have no friends. And that's the truth. No friend would put up with it. None. They have feelings. Your boss has feelings. Your pastor has feelings. Be considerate. Watch what you say to them and how you say things. Watch your body language. Don't wag your finger at them. Don't cuss at them. You shouldn't be cussing anyhow, but don't be cussing at them. Be considerate. They have children to go home to that night also. They have a wife they want to go home to also. Be considerate. Number 9, keep your promises. Your integrity makes you valuable to them. You tell your boss, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you never do it, I can't trust you. You tell your spouse, oh, I promise we're going to do this, or I'm going to do that, and you don't do it. You're just chipping away at trust. You tell your parents, I'm going to someone's house, but you never get there. They can't trust you. One time I asked my dad, I said, Dad, can I start staying out till 11? He said, no. I said, you don't trust me. He goes, you can never take out the trash when you're supposed to. How am I supposed to trust you to be out till 11? Whoa. You want bigger trust? Keep the promises of the small things. You make a promise to those of authority, keep it. Your integrity will make you important to them. If we're talking about jobs, that's how you get promoted. If a boss knows he can trust you, he's going to promote you, or he's going to give you raises, or he's going to give you the days off that you want. He's going to. Because I can trust that person. Number 10, be a problem solver, not a problem maker. Problems will come up wherever you are. Find solutions or be a part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem, or don't be the person who caused the problem. Don't make your company that you work for to make new rules because of you. That's never a good position to be in. Be a problem solver. You are appreciated when you're part of the solution and not part of the difficulties. Do not make more difficult times more difficult. Don't make difficult times more difficult. Things are rough, things are hard. Or a machine broke down, or whatever it is. Don't make it more difficult by adding to it. Be there, roll up your sleeves. How are we going to fix this? You tell me how to fix it, or I got a plan. I would get so angry. I was a supervisor in a factory, and the machine would break down. And I'm standing there, and the whole time, somebody would be complaining about it, or complaining about me. And I'm trying to fix this thing. Is my attitude getting really good when they're doing this? No. There would be other people that come in and they might know a little bit of something about this and they get in and they'd help. That person was a problem solver. The person over here, or the two people over here saying, man, 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 man. I can't even tell you what, it's just, man, 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 man. They're not helping.
Right.
Get out of here. And I'd have to turn to them sometimes and say, go take a break. Just leave. You're not helping. Number 11, be polite. Nothing shows respect more than your good manners. Please, thank you, etc. I don't know if I got it down here, but part of being polite is call them the name they want to be called.